Need to automatically secure your FastMCP server with WorkOS AuthKit while keeping credentials out of your code? We'll configure automatic OAuth provisioning by setting the FastMCP server auth environment variable to the full WorkOS provider class path. You'll see how this approach uses AuthKit's token validation with just 4 required environment variables: cliented, client secret, AuthKit domain, and base URL, while maintaining full compatibility with MCP clients over HTTP transport. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. #auth is automatically provisioned from FastMCP server auth. MCP equals FastMCP name, WorkOS protected server. This demonstrates WorkOS AuthKit integration using the automatic provisioning pattern for FastMCP servers. The approach leverages environment variables to configure WorkOS-specific OAuth authentication, where the server automatically initializes with WorkOS protection when FastMCP server auth points to the WorkOS provider class path. The distinctive aspect is how it combines 12-factor app configuration with OAuth proxy functionality, specifically using WorkOS AuthKit for token validation and metadata handling. The pattern works by reading required configuration from environment variables before server instantiation, including the WorkOS client credentials, AuthKit domain, and server base URL that must match OAuth callback endpoints. When FastMCP server auth is set to FastMCP server auth providers, WorkOS provider, the server automatically provisions WorkOS authentication without explicit code configuration, while still allowing manual provider instantiation as an alternative approach. This creates a clean separation where authentication becomes infrastructure configuration rather than application code. This approach matters because it provides enterprise-grade WorkOS authentication while maintaining simple server code and client compatibility. The environment variable configuration ensures proper OAuth callback handling and token validation through WorkOS AuthKit, working specifically with HTTP transport. It's particularly valuable when you need to add WorkOS protection to existing FastMCP servers without modifying tool implementations or client code, while still allowing customization through variables like FastMCP server auth WorkOS required scopes. Let's break it down line by line. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. This imports FastMCP and configures automatic WorkOS AuthKit provisioning via environment variables. For this to work, you must set FastMCP server auth to FastMCP server auth providers, WorkOS provider, and configure 4 required variables: cliented, client secret, AuthKit domain, and base URL, with base URL matching your server's public endpoint for OAuth callbacks. The name parameter identifies this server instance to AuthKit, while scope requirements default to the FastMCP server auth WorkOS required SCOPES environment variable. This approach, option 2 in docs, handles token validation and OAuth metadata automatically for HTTP transport, eliminating manual provider instantiation. #auth is automatically provisioned from FastMCP server auth. MCP equals FastMCP name, WorkOS protected server. This instantiates FastMCP with WorkOS AuthKit provisioning via the FastMCP server auth environment variable, which must be set to FastMCP server auth providers, WorkOS provider. Requires 4 environment variables: cliented, client secret, AuthKit domain, and base URL must match your server's public URL for OAuth callbacks. The name parameter identifies this instance in logs, while WorkOS handles token validation and OAuth metadata automatically. WorkOS AuthKit integration. The automatic provisioning system binds WorkOS AuthKit to your FastMCP server through environment variables, requiring explicit configuration of FastMCP server auth equals FastMCP, server, auth, providers, WorkOS provider before instantiation. 4 environment variables must be set for WorkOS to function: cliented, client secret, AuthKit domain, and base URL, with the base URL matching your server's public callback endpoint exactly. This pattern, option 2 from the docs, eliminates manual auth provider instantiation while maintaining full OAuth scope control through FastMCP server auth WorkOS required scopes.
The server that never sees a password validates every identity